Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we have curry as our next lead code question. So I'll help you understand curry first, and after that we can come back to the question later. So currying is a technique of working with functions. It's not only a concept in JavaScript, but you can use the same concept with other languages as well, right? So as I have mentioned, it's again a functional programming thing that involves transformation of a function. I wanted to highlight that it's actually transformation of function, not calling of function. So whatever we are function we are getting, we are just transforming. That is currying, right? It takes multiple argument and a series of functions that take one argument at a time. So you will see that this is something, an example of currying. So you had a function sum a comma b comma c. We passed it to a curry function. Now your sum can be transformed into something like where you will be passing sum 1 and then 2 and 3 as a separate arguments. Now you'll say, what's the benefit of doing the whole thing when you can just directly get the response from here itself, right? But not really. So this is just a really simple example, but in complex situations you do not want to mess your code, right? So this technique will help you write separate code for each section. So consider this was your first part, right? You can use this csum to store something here and then do something after that, and after this is done you can just call the same fsum with another argument. So this will be a sort of series of function calling, right? There are multiple other ways you can avoid your errors, and you can make your code more readable by doing currying and all. So this is how currying works in JavaScript. Now I will help you understand this question, and then we can dive into the solution as well. So we are given a function fn, right? So here we have fn. So let's understand the signature first, right? The params here is a function and the return type is also a function. Okay, now coming back to the how we use it part. So here we'll be having a sum. We will be passing into the curry function, which we will be defining here, right? So it accepts as a sum. This sum will be available inside the fn. Now whatever function we have, we can start using it by doing this, right? So if we are doing csum1 and again passing another variable 2, so it should return 3. So it's simply saying that you have used this, stored it somewhere, and then you have called another variable, right? Called with another argument here. So a curried function is a function that accepts fewer or equal number of parameter. I wanted to highlight this part, that accept fewer or equal number of parameter as the original function and return either another curried function or same value as the original function would have returned, right? I have already explained you the example. Let's just now jump to the solution. So first of all, we have to check whether we are getting the argument. So as mentioned here, right, we can simply see that if our function is done or not based on the number of arguments we are getting. So the arguments here a comma b, right, whatever function we are passing, then inside this curry function it should be available in args, right? So this is how we get arguments, right, in JavaScript. So all the argument passed to this particular curried, whatever return type we are having inside this csum here, it will be available in args in form of array. So now args variable will hold an array of all the arguments here, right? So first start by declaring a local args, local array, which will contain all the arguments. So to be precise, at this particular point we will be having only one into this args, right? So what we will do, we will basically push this one into our local args. So I'm just giving you a dry run as well, right? So we will try to see. So this is a spread operator thing, right? So we will try to spread it out and push all the things we are getting into a local args. For now it will be just one. Now we will just return it. If it's a function, we will just return it, right? Ideally, I'm just talking about the ideal cases. So whatever function we are getting, we will pass this function in this sum all the arguments we are getting. But this is not the case, right? We also want to check if our local argument value are still smaller than the functional length, right? Function length, what do you mean by function length? So function length will be length of the arguments of this sum. So yeah, here we have a comma b, right? So this function dot length will be 2. I hope you get that part, right? Fn is this particular function we are passing in curry. So this curry is here and sum is here, fn. So fn dot length will give you the length of the arguments here. I hope it is clear. So in the first run, we will see we only have one in our local ARGS, so it won't succeed, right? It will just come into it will succeed, it will be true, right? Since we just have one, or here the length is 2, so it will return the curried function. Till this point we will get the curried function only. I hope it is clear, right? Since we had only one argument here, we do not have two arguments, we will still return a function. Now when the second times the function comes in, the length will become 2, because we will pass 2 as well into the curried function. We will pass 2 into the curried function, right here. So now the local ARGS will also contain 1 comma 2, here ARGS is also containing 1 comma 2, so it will come here. The length is 2, 2 is not smaller than 2, so it will come here in the return fn part. Now what we will do, we will call the whole function, whatever we had sum, with all the arguments, right? A comma b, some sort of like that. So this is how it will work. I hope it is clear. Now you can just go and hit the run button and submit it. Cool. So this is how currying works in JavaScript. I'll try to make a separate video directly on currying. I guess I was not able to give you enough example to help you understand currying, but see you in that video. If you like it, please subscribe. Thank you.